Okay, hey guys, so I'm just going to re-upload this one I did the other day with my new app, which is awesome. So let's firstly go through some stuff you need to know. This is just going to help with our analysis of all these chords. So you are aware, all the chords we'll be doing in this song is quite dense harmonic vocabulary. And what I mean by that, it can be a bit advanced. There's lots of things you need to know that we've all covered in class, but there's just lots of things to juggle in your mind at once. So it's worthwhile pausing this when you need and writing stuff down, taking the time to figure it out on the piano yourself when you need, just to make sure you get the concepts. The way I've done all of this is learnt all of this is by playing it on the piano, because the piano is really clear with the relationships. A lot of what we do is about intervals. A lot of most music is about intervals. So I'm just putting on a timer so I can upload this later. Okay, so let's go over this app that will help us visualize things first. We're in the key of G. I've put it in the key of G here. There will be times when I say, oh, let's stack thirds. For example, like this, we've got line to line to line, or space to space to space, clear stack of thirds. Let's say there's a chord laid on this page that goes, it says E7, and it has this other chord name here. Don't worry about this too much. This should be, and when I say it's thirds, this just should be a G sharp, so down here and with a sharp to make it. I don't know how to figure out that bit of the app yet. I don't think it actually has that functionality to say change the A flats to E G sharps, but just be aware, sometimes you'll need to use the enharmonic equivalents. That is, sometimes things are called two names, A flat or G sharp. Okay, that's the main thing here. Over on the side, here's just a tone ladder. Sometimes here, there'll be an A sharp in the, or B flat it has here. There'll be a A sharp in the bass on your page. But here, I'll just say A, I'll say A sharp, but I'll just be pointing at the A. So you just have to, this is just to count the relationships, mainly the intervals. Let's go over some chords first on the staff. We've got our major chord. We're in G major, so let's use a G major chord so it doesn't have any accidentals. Our relationship, and I'll play this down the octave, is a major third, then a minor third, or a 1, 3, 5, or a do, do, mi, so. A major third skips 3 notes, or you go 1, flat 2, 2, flat 3, 3. And I'm playing that in my right hand here. And then it goes a perfect fifth on top. And there's 2 ways to think of that. You can think of it as a minor third above the middle note, which is skipping 1, 2 notes. Or you can think of it as a perfect fifth away from G. You just go up 5 notes in the scale, adhering to all the notes in the key signature. That's how you get the fifth. Generally, if everything's diatonic, there's no accidentals outside of the key signature, you can just count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get your notes in your chord. And you just need to listen and know that G major and E minor, the third is major. We've got a minor chord. Let's stay on G. It's the opposite structure. The only one I'm moving here is this one here, down to the minor third. So 1, flat 2, natural 2, flat third, and the perfect fifth is still there. Then I've got a dominant chord. It's a major structure chord with our minor seventh. We've gone over this. Easiest way to find the seventh is to take the octave or the root note, then go down 2. Major seventh, and you can see that in the chord signature, it's a major 7. And a G7 means it has the major third and the minor 7th. These are our tension notes, and they resolve to a fifth down. Si, do, fa, mi. G down a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes to C. Cool. We've got a half diminished. That isn't seen too often, but it's just a diminished triad. I'll do it in G, sorry. So it's got a diminished fifth, not the perfect fifth. So it'd be a chromatic note. And then the minor seventh, some people call it a minor 7 flat 5. And then we've got a full diminished, which if we go from our root up here, we go root, major 7th, flat 7th, and we actually have a double flat 7. And like I said before, this should be a D flat here, but it's a C sharp just because of this program, but it's still a really useful program. So that's our chords that are going to be really essential. Major kind of sounds bright, minor sounds a bit dark. Dominants generally want to resolve, and that's the same with diminished chords. Dominants normally resolve down the fifth. So if we're going to D7, it resolves down a fifth. Diminished chords, however, normally resolve up a minor second. That's our T, Do, or for N minor, Si, La. These are our two things. Something goes down a fifth or up minor seconds. Let's go on to our song. I'm going to zoom in as much as I can without obscuring things. One more, come on. There we go. So, we start off with octave E's. Oh, actually, you don't have any in the bass. So this is easily. We've got one sharp, it's either G major or E minor. It's easily E minor, because E is our most dominant, our most common note. Then we get this little run. In a descending line here, we see and that the song gives us a minor feeling. We've spoken about this too. The triplets represent the horse. And that's the same for all of this. You can just call this chord 1, and the mood is intense because of the triplet rhythms and that run up. It's nothing can escape. It tries to escape. It gets to the fa, mi, do, la, and it just stays down there. It's terribly, terribly great. Okay, we move on. We have an F sharp, an E, an F sharp, and an A. Octave A's. And like I said before, if you need any time to pause this and just double check why these things are what they are, do that. I'm going to take these A's and put them up the octave. I'll get rid of the top F sharp because I'm already doubling it. Here's an F sharp, an A, and an E. The only thing we're missing from this chord is the C, but that's okay because our fifth is always the least important note in our chord, generally, unless it's an augmented triad, then it means nothing without the fifth, but I digress. This is a 2 and it's 6/5 because it's got the A in the bass, and that's just saying it's in first inversion. And it's nice because then the A then moves up to an A sharp, and we get F dominant 7th. So we're thinking F going down a 5th or up a 4th, F 1, 2, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So our target is B, and we can see that it resolves to that B major sound. But first we take a little detour to E minor, just back to our 1. Before a B chord, and it says E major sus2, don't believe that program. It actually says, in the corner it says B over E. Oh, sorry, it's B over B. And we finish back on that. This little cadence here is what we call the cadential 6/4. It's when we have a 1-6/4 chord going to the 5, ending on the 1. It's common in classical music. If you listen, now you know the sound. you'll hear it all the time. It just serves to finish up the cadence. It just has a nice little formula. If you look at the voice leading here, in the top line, it just goes do, ti, la. Nice voice leading. And we have la in the middle line, si, that should be D sharp, la. So this is all cementing the note of E, which is our tonic, and then we go oh. The rest of it we've seen before. We get a similar 2-5 thing here, 2-6-5. Before we move up to this awesome chord, you can see here it says B flat in the bass, but it should say A sharp. So we can just substitute those in our mind. We've got a G, an E, and a G, and a B flat or an A sharp. I'm going to put them all into one octave to try and make thirds. In the rest of the bar, we're missing kind of a note somewhere. If we put this C sharp in, here is a 7 chord. I've called it the 7 of 5 because this is definitely the 5 chord. It's got all the notes of B major. And then I said, oh, how does this chord relate to that one? It's got this A sharp, our C, in this should be Re, Mi, just for this little thing. Don't worry about the solfege too much, but it resolves to we get this major, B major. And we haven't modulated, we've just gone a little bit to the dominant key. And dominant is a nice area to start the melody on because it supports action and it doesn't feel resolved. If I stopped there, you'd be unhappy. On your booklet, it says narrated poses the question in the dominant because that's the main tonality we hear. And he finishes there. We get all the same things. 1-6-4 just goes. If we finish on the 1-6-4, by the way, it doesn't feel finished. And that's why it keeps going. And then we finally get to this thing here, which is awesome. We get to. It says A flat should be a G sharp. I hope my computer sound isn't too loud at the moment because I can hear it. So it's an E7 chord. E goes down a fifth. You call E5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We should get to A. And if we put those out, we can see that it should be thirds with that G sharp there. I have 20 seconds left. I have a minute. And it goes to A minor. And this is the first time we mention the sun. This is something that will come back later. We finish off with a G major to G in the next page up the top. And we'll deal with that next thing. We'll just do this page by page, I think. Let's quickly look at this. We've got once again a G, not in its root inversion. This G chord in this bar here is B, D, G, which means it's in the first inversion. It feels unfinished. It's also got the fifth in the bass. Oh, and then we see the exact same thing. So a 6-4 chord, so a 6-4 chord going to the fifth, and we feel really resolved when we finish that. And we've gone to the relative major. Hope that makes sense. Take your time to work through this and it will get easier. I hope this app helped. I really enjoy using it. So enjoy it.